Finally, I'll get started on my Dave Campbell challenge. As some of you may not know, Dave Campbell, who writes the Texas Sports Magazine, makes his predictions for college football. So I decided to look at his predictions for the Big 12 South teams, particularly the Texas teams, and give you what I think and compare them. And at the end of the year, we'll see who really is the real football expert. And of course, it's me. But I felt that we would start the series off with my favorite team, my best buds, the Texas A&M Aggies, the boys from College Station. Last season, the Aggies went 4-8. Dave Campbell picked them to go 8-4 and make it to a bowl game. He actually picked the Longhorns getting 8-4 as well. So we see he was a little off on that prediction there, having the Horns and the Aggies on the same par. As we know, the Horns only lost one game in Lubbock against Texas Tech, and the Aggies got beat by Arkansas State at home, and thus lost more games. So have they improved any? Have they made any adjustments that may make them a bit more of a contender? And in my eyes, I say no. Now, if you want to look at what Dave Campbell has them going, he's got them going 6-6 and making it to the Alamo Bowl. No, actually going to the Texas Bowl, which is, that would be a very positive thing for the Aggies to do. But I look through this, and I know I am a Longhorns fan with my burnt orange pride, as you can see. But I truly do want to see the Aggies do well, just to make the conference look a little bit better. I mean, it's not good when the Texas A&M Aggies are the bottom of the Big 12 South. So let's go through this right now. And right off the bat, you've got 3 games. New Mexico versus Utah State and against UAB. Now, you don't have Arkansas State on the schedule. Thank God. You don't want those guys coming at you. That's a beast of a team. But you do have the mighty Utah State Aggies. But you know what? I'm going to give you those 3 games. Okay? They're all at home. They're all subpar opponents. And dang it, you should at least win those 3 games. And the thing is, though, I'm giving it to the Aggies. I think they will win those games. But I will not be surprised if they somehow lost them. I really don't. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Then you get to go play Arkansas to reunite that SWC rivalry with the Arkansas Razorbacks, playing in Arlington in the new Cowboy Stadium. You're not winning that game. I mean, Arkansas, the thing with Arkansas, they were bad last year too. And the thing with Arkansas, they quit on the Longhorns. They were trying to renew their rivalry with us. But after last year's shellacking, they kind of decided, we're not really up to the par there, so we'll go to our other Texas rival, the Aggies, and I think we're on par with them. But I think that Arkansas, especially that last game against LSU, showed a lot of improvement. That team's young, they're getting better, and I think they're going to beat the Aggies pretty bad in Dallas. But let's just talk about the games that you're not going to win. There's no shot at all for the Aggies to win. Home against Oklahoma State, which is right after Arkansas. At Oklahoma, let's face it, when you guys go to Norman, well, when most teams go to Norman, they get destroyed, but the Aggies seem to have a special place for the Oklahoma Sooners. And you're not beating the Horns. It's not happening. Now, probably those games, the Horns may be your best shot to win in Kyle Field because, let's face it, that's all you got. You got to beat the Longhorns. And I've been to Kyle Field for a Longhorns game in 2005 when y'all weren't any good and we were the national champions that year. And dadgummit, your team, the Aggies came out flying. I've never seen a team fight that hard. And I will give the credit, but the thing is, something's happened with Aggieland. I don't know, it just feels like it's lost its luster. I've talked to Aggie fans and Aggie students. Some of them are even considering not even buying tickets for the season this year. It's really, and I've heard some reports, and you guys correct me wrong, that the boosters are losing money or they're not giving any money because the team's so bad. And unless they see some improvement, they're not going to give their money out again to the Aggies. And I don't see that happening again. But let's continue down the schedule, and we'll get into it more. So Oklahoma State, you're not winning that game. Then you got at Kansas State. Now, I don't know much about Kansas State, but since it's on the road, that's the one iffy, and we'll come back. I'll say that the Aggies lose that game too. But y'all might win this one. Now, you're going to Texas Tech. Now, Tech is in a rebuilding stage this coming year, but they're not going to be as rebuilding as the Aggies. You're going to Lubbock. You don't win in Lubbock, at least not lately. And, Tech will struggle next year, but Tech won't struggle against the Aggies. They'll win that game. Iowa State at home, shining moment for the Aggies. You guys quit, field goal win, overtime victory. You'll beat the Cyclones. They're a joke of a squad. At Colorado. Now, Campbell has y'all beating Colorado. I don't know, guys. This is my deal with Colorado this coming year. I look for Colorado to make a move. I really do. Now, I'm with most people and think Nebraska will win the North. But Colorado last year was young and injured. Okay? I look for that team to get a little more experienced, to get healthy. Aggies are on the road. I look for Colorado to maybe finish second in the North. I know that's kind of crazy, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. So I'm going to go with the Aggies losing that game as well. Then you've got at Norman. I've talked about that. Then you've got the renewed rivalry of the Texas A&M Aggies and the Baylor Bear, the Battle of the Brazos. Man, you have sunk low when you have renewed a rivalry with Baylor. Now, Baylor's gotten better, to their credit, and I'll talk about them probably in the next video. And Robert Griffin's a huge part of that, probably the main part of that, the only part of that. And, you know, I know Baylor's coming to Kyle Field, and I know that it'll be amped, maybe amped. It probably won't be amped because by this time you only have 3 wins under your belt, maybe only 4. I don't know how many I've given you so far. And I don't think Baylor's bringing Griffin is getting his tight end back, a couple of wide receivers, and a running back as well, and a couple of offensive linemen. He's not going to be without weapons. The guy's a playmaker. He can run over the field, but not only does he just run, because Gerard Johnson's a mobile quarterback too. But Griffin is a smart runner. If you watch him, he knows when to run and how to run. He was a track star, and the guy's smart, and he knows what he's doing with the football. I think they go in there and beat the Aggies in Kyle Field. And, of course, you've got the last game against the Texas Longhorns. Hopefully that will be for the Longhorns to clinch the South. We'll see what happens with the Horns. But this is not the team from 2 and 3 years ago. The team that was over cocky, overconfident, didn't care, it's whatever. This team has a mindset. This is Colt McCoy's team. This is the team that's focused on championship and focused on not losing to inferior opponents. The Aggies have been inferior opponents for the past couple years. Yeah, they beat us twice, and congratulations, I tipped my hat. I already did tip my hat. But those were called upsets because the lesser team won. This will not happen this year. I don't care if Texas has gotten beat by Oklahoma State or Oklahoma by that time. I don't care. Texas will beat Texas A&M. And so, for me, I look for the Aggies to go 4-8 again and not make a bowl game, lose more boosters, and just fall. And I say that, of course, yeah, of course, a little tongue-in-cheek that I'm taking a shot at the Aggies. But I look at it, and, of course, now, I will say for the Aggie offense, this is why my predictions, this is why I stuck this way. For the Aggie offense, you've got Gerard Johnson, who had a lot of playing time last year, was the main starter. And you've got a veteran squad of wide receivers coming back. Ryan Tannehill, who I keep hearing about, like he's some difference maker. Maybe he will be, but all you Aggies keep talking about him. But you have an entire offensive line of guys who haven't started. You also have lost your only quality player in Mike Goodson. So you have great wideouts, a quarterback who has started, but you have no protection, and you have no backfield. I don't see anything on offense. But it's mainly on defense. You've got 2 returning starters on the line. You've got 2 returning starters in safety and 1 at cornerback. The rest of them are all new. You were going against Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford, Robert Griffin, Zach Robinson, and the rest of the Big 12 quarterbacks. That defense is not going to hold up against those guys. Those guys are quality. Those guys have, well, except maybe for Griffin, have quality teams under him. And heck, let's throw Taylor Potts in there, who, no, he hasn't started yet, but, I mean, he's in the Leach system. He can run that system well. He's from Abilene, so he's from that area. He knows the system well. So I look for Taylor Potts to put up big numbers. I don't see him winning much, but they'll put up a lot of numbers. So that's my final verdict. Texas A&M will go 4-8, not go to a bowl game again. Of course, Aggie fan, and the thing is, I haven't heard much of an outcry from Aggie Nation or 12th Man Nation, whatever y'all call yourselves. I'm talking about YouTube, but I'm talking about in all. Usually, even the Aggies are so delusional usually that they will start hyping their team so much before the season starts, even when they have a bad team. This year, I think last year with the Arkansas State loss really just knocked some sense into them, and they are not talking much this year. So pretty much what I'm saying is not really news to anyone, but that's my pick. So 4-8 for me, and 6-6 for Dave Campbell. Oh, and Fi Collette, I'd like to hear your video response to this, because also Fi Collette has them going undefeated. So Fred, if you could put a link to this video and let me know where I'm wrong, because I'm not. Hook 'em Horns, Texas Fight, and Aggies. God help you.